Knowing what to wear in the workplace can be a bit tricky, especially if you work in the creative industry or maybe from a co-working space. So in this video, I want to give you some of those workwear staples and then show you a bunch of outfits on how to style them. Welcome to Stylecast, where I give you outfit inspiration based on the weather. I'm your host and style coach, Greta Eagan, and I am currently forecasting for the autumn-winter season, so we are going to be seeing 30s, 40s, maybe the 50s with a little bit of sunshine warming things up. But these are going to be some outfits that I want to give you for the workplace, what I'm calling my workhorse workwear. These are staples that you can reach for time and time again and pair in different ways to create lots of different outfits. So let's dive right in. The first piece I want to highlight is the blazer, and obviously this comes as no surprise because blazers are basically the quintessential office wear piece. Now there are a number of ways to style it, and I actually wanted to style it down a little bit, so I paired it with some jeans for this look. I'm also going to share some other ways that you could style it, but let's dive into this look. This is something that is going just a little bit more casual by pairing it with jeans. This is something that would be appropriate for more of a creative space or a co-working space where you can dress a little more casual, what we might call casual smart. And so what I did is I started with a pair of long wide leg jeans, and then I did add a tissue weight turtleneck underneath. Now that's going to give me the warmth that I need for the season. Typically, I would have styled this with a t-shirt all through the summer season and earlier in the fall, but now as the temps are dipping down, definitely want to get a little more warmth. You could even go for more of like a knit underneath a blazer, depending on if you have an oversized blazer that has room for the bulk of a knit. For me, I really like the tissue weight turtleneck just because it does keep me warm without the bulk. And then I finished the look off with a pointed toe bootie. Now again, this is going to lend itself to workwear attire because it is closed-toed and because it also has a bit of a heel, giving a little bit of a lift, making the outfit feel just a little bit more polished. So this would be a total go-to look for me, especially as I mentioned, if you were in more of one of those casual workwear settings where you want to look professional but not like you're overdressed. This would be the perfect combination. Some other ways that you can style the blazer are, of course, with a more of like a suit. So maybe a matching trouser or something in the same color and hue. I think going for a monochrome look with a blazer is always a really good option. So you could pair it with a midi skirt. You could also do a leather trouser. There are really so many options. The next piece that I want to highlight is the midi skirt, and they have been having a moment for sure. We have been seeing them as more of the pleated version and then a lot of the slip silk version this fall. And this skirt is actually more of the cargo style with a little bit of the flowy edge. So definitely a lot of options here, and the midi skirt is just one of those really solid options for a workwear wardrobe because it is the right length, and especially for this time of year, it's going to give you a little more coverage and a little more warmth. I will say that there is almost like a formula to style it, and let's go through that now. So I did pair it with a pair of knee-high boots and some tights. You could also wear leggings underneath if you really wanted to get some more warmth. But that knee-high boot is going to give you a little bit more coverage, and also it comes with a bit of a heel, which I think you kind of need with the midi skirt. It really does kind of help to balance out the proportions. And then on top, I did go for a knit. Now this is kind of a cap sleeve style knit, which I actually really like for this time of year because it is still a little bit warm during the days. So in the office, this might be just enough. Of course, I'm going to be putting on a coat or a jacket going to and from the office. And you could also always add a blazer over top here, and that would work really nicely. But if you wanted to go for something a little more traditional and maybe giving you a little bit more coverage if you needed it, then you could go for just like a roll neck that has a high neck and the full sleeve. And then that would be another really good option and way to style the midi skirt. Next, I want to highlight the wool trouser, and specifically a wide leg wool trouser. It is just something that always stays the test of time as something that is classic. You will always be able to reach for in your wardrobe when it is time to dress up and be a little bit more office appropriate, a little bit more polished feeling, but also maybe you want to make it a little bit more relaxed, this is one way to do it, and that is just to pair it with a knit on top, something that's a little bit more lightweight, has a bit more of a softer, almost casual feel. You can see this is like a 3/4 length, has little cutout details, so I'm sort of toning down the professionalism of the wool trouser and making it a little bit more approachable. I'm loving the proportions of this outfit in particular because with the wide leg trouser, you really want to pair it with something that is a little bit more form-fitting or tight on top. That's why I went for this sort of tight-fitting knit and more of a lightweight material. And then I did also go for a pointed toe shoe. So that's going to elongate my leg, make it look a little bit longer with the wide leg. Just looks really, really classy to have that pointed toe sticking out of the wide leg pant. And I would say that this is honestly just a go-to outfit formula. I'm doing it here in black, very monochrome. These are just the colors, the pieces that I have in my wardrobe, but I could totally see you doing this in that burgundy color that is so beautiful and hot right now. Also in a brown or a tan color, and even ivory. These are all great combinations just to lean into the monochrome feel of this look and getting these proportions right with the tighter top, the wide leg bottom, and a pointy toe. The next piece I want to highlight is the leather trouser. Now, this is something that has been around for a while as well, but it is something that has a lot of different variations on the style and the cut. So here you want to find what works for you. I have gone for more of the tapered, skinny, or straight leg style. I have had this pair in my wardrobe for years, and I always reach for it when the weather turns cold. I just think there's something really luxe and warm and inviting about the texture of leather during the colder months. And I love to style it with knits. I think that that juxtaposition of something soft and then leather maybe seeming a little bit more hard, those two together balance so perfectly, and especially for a workplace environment that is a little bit more on the creative casual side because you're not necessarily needing to wear a suit, but the leather does dress your outfit up. If I was going to wear this knit with a pair of jeans, that might also work for sure, but the leather does elevate it just a little bit more, and I do think that it adds a little bit more polish to the look. Now, I did finish this look off with a pair of pumps. I should also mention that that is going to lend some polish to the look because obviously adding a heel is going to make everything look a little bit more elevated, a little bit more professional, but you could totally do like a flat ballet flat here. I think that would be fine. Also a mule would be great here. So there are some options to even play with this and how sort of dressed up you want to feel, and also how appropriate it is going to be for your workplace. The last piece that I want to highlight is the sweater dress, and this is a piece that is just so cozy and so versatile. It's something that you put on, you're like one and done. It is something that you can go for in more of a tight fitting form or something that's more oversized. Either way, you are going to be warm and stylish. The key here is all in the accessories. So picking a boot that has a little bit of a heel, and also that I would say would go all the way up over your knee even, depending on the length of your sweater dress. Here, I definitely needed to go for an over the knee boot, something that would give me all the coverage that I needed, because if you go for a boot that is short and you have your sweater dress ending, that's sort of mid-calf, it's actually going to give you a little bit of a space on your leg and cut you off, make you look shorter. The proportions will not look right. So always go for a boot that is a bit higher. I would say even over the knee, which is what I wound up doing here. And then choosing a belt to go around the midsection, that is something, or even the higher waist, that is going to give you just a little something else and break up the look of the sweater dress, which is a lot of fabric usually, and that way you can just add a little something else. I like to match my boots and my belt. You certainly don't have to, although you could stay in the same color hue, leaning into some of those browns and tans, or even the burgundy color, which has been so popular this fall. I think that would be a great way to even update a sweater dress that you might have in your wardrobe that you've been wearing for years. And these are just a couple of tips to help you bring out that sweater dress and make it workwear appropriate. Now, you may be wondering what you're going to wear on top of all of these looks. What is that outer layer that is going to go with everything and help you look chic, from the street to your desk. So I want to give you an extra piece, a bonus piece, to round out this whole workwear wardrobe, and that is to give you the outer layer to go with everything, and that's a 3/4 length wool coat. So that is a coat that isn't going to be sweeping all the way to the ground, although you could absolutely do that with these looks. But you could also go for a 3/4 one, and that is going to get the job done. It's also going to be a little bit more versatile while we are still waiting for temps to drop a little bit more. So it's not gonna have as much material, as much bulk, but it will definitely complement the looks that you've seen here. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that you got some value out of this video, and if you did, please give us a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe so that you get all of our future videos. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.